y'all. So today I will be showing you how to make my world famous spinach dip with some homemade pita chips to dip in your spinach dip. Now, look, I'm just gonna tell you this. This recipe is so simple and easy. It's better than anything you can find at the restaurant, at the grocery store. It's just really good. Like, I bring this to every party, every family gathering, everything. If you're the hostess and you're looking for something quick and easy that is sure to impress your guests, then stay tuned for this recipe. First thing that we're going to do is take our frozen spinach. What you want to do is soak up all of this excess moisture with some paper towels, because remember we said it's frozen. I've never tried it with fresh spinach. I just like the frozen spinach because it's already chopped. It's convenient. You just pick it up in your frozen food department. No other prep involved. And again, we want this to be quick and easy. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna dump this into my large mixing bowl. And then I'm going to take my cream cheese, which is already softened. Make sure it's softened, because if not, you're gonna be fighting with it. And when I say soften, I mean like leave it outside of the refrigerator for at least 30 to 45 minutes so that it's easy to work with. So you see here, I'm just combining the cream cheese. Actually gonna use this other spoon. I'm combining the cream cheese with the spinach. Now, if your cream cheese has not been softened enough, then you can always pop it into the microwave for a few seconds, but not too long. But this cream cheese wants to give me grief today, and it's been out of the refrigerator for a while, so I don't know why it's behaving like this. But anyway, you just want to take and combine all of that good old spinach with your cream cheese. Okay, so then once it's pretty integrated, now this takes a lot of muscle, y'all. I'm out of breath. Once your cream cheese and spinach are integrated, you're going to take about 3 ounces of your mozzarella or Italian cheeses, and you're going to mix that in. And then you're going to take about 2 to 3 ounces of your Parmesan and mix that in. Now, remember I said this is to your own taste. What I actually like to do, and what I see that most people prefer, is for me to top the dip with your mozzarella and Parmesan cheese mix, because that's how you get that bubbly, ooey gooey top. When you dip your chip, you get all the good stuff on the front end. So regardless of how much cheese you choose to incorporate in your dip, just make sure that you reserve some for the top. So then I'm gonna take my garlic powder, and I used about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And again, you can season this to taste. I like garlic powder, and I just love the flavor it adds. And then we're gonna take some seasoned salt. Again, that you can use that to your own discretion, your own taste. And then we're gonna take some pepper, and I'm just gonna grind the pepper in here. Again, this is to taste, so use your own discretion. And then I'm just gonna keep mixing. So remember, we want to integrate these flavors. So make sure everything is well combined. Okay, so my spinach dip is a little thick. So just to loosen it up a bit so that we get a creamier consistency, I'm just gonna add a little bit of milk. I didn't measure it out. I'm just adding it to get a little creamy going. So if you use a little less cheese than I did, or if you use a little less spinach, because I used a lot of spinach for this recipe because that's how I like it. So sometimes if it's not that nice and creamy texture, I will add just a little bit of milk, but it's not necessary. I just like to add it just to loosen it up a bit and give it that cream. So see, now that I just added that little bit of milk, it is a good creamy consistency. Now what we're going to do is put our cheese dip into our baking dish. Okay, so now that we have our spinach dip in our baking dish, we're just gonna smooth it down. We're going to smooth it down into the dish. And it smells so good already, y'all. We're going to top the dish with our cheese. And I like mine really ooey gooey. So I'm going to add that on there. And then I'm going to take my mozzarella and add that on top. Look at how cheesy that is, y'all. That is going to be so good. We're going to cover it in aluminum foil, and we're going to bake at 375 for about 20 minutes. Tell y'all one little trick that I like to do with my foil. Before I cover anything cheesy with foil, I like to spray it on the underside that's going to be touching the cheese with some spray oil so that the foil does not stick to the cheese when I am removing it. So we're going to cover it with the foil and bake covered for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to remove the foil from the top and bake it for an additional 5 minutes or so, just to let that top layer get crispy and ooey and good. Okay, so while our spinach dip is in the oven, we're going to prepare our pitas, our pita chips to dip. Now, first thing that you're going to do is separate the top layer from the bottom layer. So it's gonna look like this after we separate it. And it's super easy because, you know, pitas already have that hole in the middle. So you're just gonna take like a butter knife or something and just drag it around the seam, if you will. And you can separate this with a butter knife or by hand. That is your choice. I'm gonna take this. Now, once you have all of your pitas separated, what you're going to do is take them in a stack, and we're going to cut them into eighths. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is get a nice, strong, sharp knife and cut straight down the middle. And then we're going to rotate, and we're going to cut down that middle. Whew. Okay, so now we have our pitas cut into eighths. And look, we have our chips. Take our pita wedges and lay them out on our baking sheet. Make sure your pan is greased so the wedges don't stick. And you don't have to do it all uniform. You just lay them out because they are chips. They're going to be chips. So it's no big deal. We just don't want them to be overlap, because if they overlap, they won't crisp up underneath. And we want crispy chips to dip. What we're going to do now is take some olive oil, drizzle, lightly drizzle. Ooh, that's a drizzle, all right. Lightly drizzle olive oil onto your chips. And then take your sea salt, and I have a salt grinder, and just grind it over the chips. You can also add herbs, you can add pepper, you can add any kind of spices that you want to add to your chips. And that's it, it's so simple. So now we're gonna take these and stick these in the oven for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Fresh out the oven, it is piping hot and it looks so good. You see how the cheese is oozing over the side? So make sure that you put it on a lined tray with aluminum foil so the cheese doesn't fall to the bottom of your oven and burn. But yeah, this is really good.